When you think about pesticides, and they're so important, they are able to allow us to save our food and prevent damage from different pests out there. We're able to help protect our health. We don't think about that, but things as simple as mosquito control or even the chlorine in swimming pools is considered a pesticide. And also, on the flip side of that, we have to keep track of health and safety for the environment and for people. So just focusing on what we do, making people more aware of it, the hope is that it'll just create this good support nationwide for us.
Excellent. And with it being a new year, are there any reminders as far as what needs to be done to get up to date on any applicator licenses that people need?
Yeah, well, anyone who's certified has a green and red license card. So we suggest you check that. It's a good time of the year to do that. If it's set to expire this year, think about recertifying. We offer a number of different opportunities out there for that very thing, and all the way from online to face-to-face trainings to sessions that are hosted at the counties. So.
And yeah, there are some upcoming training sessions.
Yep.
What can you tell us about those topics that are going to be covered, anything at all?
Yeah, so for the ag audience, the big one, of course, is dicamba and the label changes there. But we talk about that. We talk about drift prevention, ways to avoid contaminating water supplies, things of that nature, just better, more efficient ways to apply pesticides. But we can't ever forget about protecting ourselves. It's a really important issue. We don't want those folks out there injuring themselves or finding out in the future that they've done something that is going to cause them problems with their health.
Any changes that we need to be made aware of that are going to go into effect at any point during 2019?
Yeah, the biggest thing that I've been pointing people to is start thinking broader. We used to always say, read the label is the law. And of course that's still true, but we have to start thinking about these off-site pieces of information. And the dicamba issue has really brought this into the forefront. The Endangered Species Act now requires the person who uses a product that lists that information on the label to go to a separate website, check the information there, and then follow those instructions. Another one's worker protection standard. And so I'm calling this sort of like off-label information. It's not totally accurate, but it's a way of thinking about it. So that's really the biggest change, is just to adjust your thinking. Stop thinking just that label that's on the product. Start thinking broader. The regulations are really getting broader, a bigger, wider reach.
And so I'm sure you're getting tons of questions this time of year. What are some of the big questions folks ask?
Well, I do, but surprisingly, and maybe it's because of the approach I've been taking lately, but I get a lot of questions about protecting my health. We've had an agricultural health study out there now for a number of years, and we're beginning to see some of the health impacts of using pesticides. And what my main core message is, don't think about what the chemical is I'm using and what problems does it cause. Realize that we don't know everything there is to know about a given pesticide, but in 20, 30 years from now, we'll know a lot about it. And by then it's too late. So if you didn't take your steps to protect yourself, wear the appropriate PPE, clean yourself up properly at the end of the day, laundering your clothing carefully, avoiding contaminating yourself and your family, it's a really big deal. And that's really my #1 question these days.